Across the world, there exist haunted, mysterious, and terrifying places, where darkness never seems to fade, and whispers from the past still echo through the cold air. From ancient haunted castles and abandoned ghost towns to eerie forests and enigmatic hotels. Each location carries its own bizarre tales of ghosts, supernatural phenomena, and unexplained events. These places not only test one's courage but also make anyone who steps into them question the thin boundary between reality and the spirit world. Do you have the bravery to explore the most chilling places on Earth? If so, let's embark on a journey to uncover 5 of the most terrifying locations in the world. 1. The Island of the Dolls, Mexico, a haunted land in the swamps. In the vast world of mysteries and horror, there exists a place that sends chills down your spine at first sight, the Island of the Dolls, Isla de las Muñecas. Located in the dark waterways of Xochimilco, Mexico, this island has no inhabitants, only hundreds of old dolls, hanging eerily from trees and abandoned structures. Their lifeless eyes seem to follow every step of visitors, whispering haunting stories from the past. But the scariest thing is not just the tattered, broken dolls, but the terrifying legend behind this island. Is this place truly haunted? Or is it merely a coincidence fueled by generations of eerie tales? The story dates back to the 1950s, when a man named Don Julian Santana Barrera, a recluse, decided to leave the bustling city life behind and settle on this small island. According to legend, one day, Don Julian discovered the lifeless body of a young girl floating in the canal near the island. The cause of her death remained a mystery, no one knew how she died or why she was there. But what was even more terrifying was that soon after her death, Don Julian began experiencing strange occurrences on the island. Whispering voices in the wind whenever night fell, the sound of faint giggles, like those of a child, echoing through the silent air, a shadowy apparition of a little girl seen between the trees. Believing that the girl's spirit was still wandering, Don Julian decided to find a way to appease her. He collected old dolls, fishing them out of the canal or picking them up from nearby garbage sites, and hung them all over the island. These dolls became offerings, meant to calm the girl's spirit and protect himself. But the eerie part was, the more dolls he hung, the more strange events occurred. Don Julian began talking to the dolls, as if they had real souls. He claimed that each doll was possessed, and they were his only companions on the island. Most terrifying of all, in 2001, Don Julian Santana was found dead in the exact same spot where he had discovered the girl's body years before. This eerie coincidence led many to believe that the island's spirit had taken him, just as it had taken the little girl. Today, the Island of the Dolls has become a tourist attraction, but not everyone dares to set foot here. Visitors have reported bizarre occurrences, making them believe that this place is truly haunted. Many claim that when they look into the dolls' eyes, they feel as if something invisible is watching them. Some visitors even swear they have seen the dolls blink or slightly move, even though no one touched them. At night, visitors report hearing whispers in the air, as if someone is speaking to the dolls. Some even hear a child's laughter. But when they look around, no one is there. Many people who visit describe a sense of unease, as if an unseen presence is standing behind them. Some even claim to have felt a cold, ghostly hand touch them, only to turn around and find nothing. Despite being damaged, missing limbs, and covered in dust, some dolls have been heard laughing or speaking, even though they have no batteries. This has led many to believe that the spirits of children have possessed them. So, is the Island of the Dolls truly haunted? Or is it just human imagination running wild? Some scientists suggest that the wind passing through the dolls' cracks may create whisper-like sounds, The illusions of moving dolls may be caused by light and shadow tricks. However, many locals firmly believe that this island is cursed, and anyone who dares to mock the dolls will face misfortune. Regardless of the truth, the Island of the Dolls remains one of the most mysterious and terrifying places in the world. The dolls still stand silently, their hollow eyes watching every soul that steps onto the island. Would you dare to set foot on this island and stare into the eyes of these dolls? 2. Aokigahara Forest, the suicide forest and its terrifying mysteries. Nestled at the foot of Mount Fuji, Aokigahara Forest is a place of haunting beauty. But beneath its serene exterior lies a dark and chilling past, known as the Suicide Forest. This place is not only one of the scariest forests in the world, but also home to unexplained phenomena, supernatural occurrences, and eerie legends. There is something strangely unnatural about Aokigahara as you step into its depths. You are surrounded by dense, twisted trees and an unnerving silence, as if the forest itself swallows all sound from the outside world. But the most unsettling part is the feeling of being watched, along with the whispers that seem to drift through the trees. Are these just tricks of the mind? Or is something truly lurking within the shadows of Aokigahara? For centuries, Aokigahara has been associated with death. According to Japanese folklore, this forest was once used for the practice of yubasute, where the elderly and sick were abandoned in the woods to die alone when their families could no longer care for them. The spirits of these forsaken souls, known as eerie, are believed to wander the forest, trapped between life and death, luring others into their fate. Some say that their restless energy still lingers, spreading an oppressive aura of sorrow and despair throughout the forest. Aokigahara is not just a forest tied to ancient legends, it is one of the most infamous suicide locations in the world. Hundreds of bodies are discovered every year, many having hanged themselves from trees or vanished without a trace. Authorities regularly enter the forest to recover corpses, yet the number of missing people continues to rise. Some bodies are never found, as if the forest has swallowed them forever. Visitors have reported feeling an invisible force pulling them deeper into the woods, making them lose their way and become disoriented. Is this simply a psychological effect of the dark forest? Or is there a paranormal force at work? Numerous hikers, travelers, and even rescue workers have reported bizarre occurrences while inside Aokigahara. At night, the only sound in the forest should be the wind. However, many visitors claim to hear whispers, soft sobbing, or even footsteps following them. When they turn around, no one is there. Some people entering Aokigahara describe the sensation of being watched. The deeper they go, the more they feel like something unseen is observing them, sending shivers down their spine. Many bright-colored ribbons are tied to trees, left behind by those contemplating suicide, marking their way into the depths of the forest. However, some of these ribbons mysteriously vanish, as if cut by unseen hands, leaving people stranded with no way back. One of the most unsettling phenomena is that compasses, GPS devices, and electronic equipment often stop working inside the forest. Some attribute this to magnetic anomalies from the volcanic rock beneath the forest, while others believe it is due to supernatural interference from the spirits within. There are many reasons why Aokigahara has become a magnet for those seeking to end their lives. The absolute silence, no birds, no rustling leaves, only an eerie stillness that isolates visitors from the outside world. The dark history, some believe that the lingering energy of past deaths deepens the despair of those who enter. The stories and media influence, numerous books, films, and reports about Aokigahara as the suicide forest have made it a symbol of suffering and death, attracting those contemplating their final moments. Aokigahara remains one of Japan's most mysterious locations, sparking debates on whether the events occurring here are natural or supernatural. Scientists suggest that the overwhelming sense of despair, the feeling of being watched, and the eerie sounds can all be explained by human psychology when placed in a dark, isolated environment. Spiritualists believe that the souls of the dead still roam the forest, luring the living to join them, and that Aokigahara will always be covered by a sinister, unbreakable curse. Despite its serene natural beauty, Aokigahara carries an ominous presence, a place where many have entered but never returned. Would you dare venture into the depths of this forest, where shadows move in the corner of your vision, whispers call your name, and the trees seem to breathe with the spirits of the past? If you enter, will you find your way out? 3. Edinburgh Castle, the most haunted fortress in the world. Standing atop Castle Rock, overlooking the capital of Scotland, Edinburgh Castle is not only a symbol of glory and history, but also one of the most haunted places in the world. With over 900 years of existence, this fortress has witnessed countless bloody battles, political conspiracies, brutal executions, and the tragic deaths of those who never found peace. Visitors often describe an unsettling atmosphere as soon as they step inside. The heavy stone walls seem to whisper stories of the past, while the chilling air carries a sense of something unseen lurking in the shadows. But what truly makes this castle one of the scariest places on Earth is the ghostly apparitions roaming its dark corridors, the eerie whispers echoing through the night, and the unsettling stories of restless souls trapped within its walls. Built in the 12th century, Edinburgh Castle has been the site of many violent and tragic events throughout Scotland's history. Over the centuries, it has served as a military fortress, where warriors perished in battle and war prisoners suffered brutal torture, a medieval prison, holding traitors, witches, and political prisoners, many of whom met a grim fate, a place of execution, where countless people were hanged, beheaded, or burned alive in the castle's courtyard. With such a gruesome past, it is no surprise that the castle is said to be haunted by the spirits of those who died within its walls. For centuries, countless reports of paranormal activity have emerged from the castle. Tourists, staff, and even scientific researchers have all claimed to feel an unexplained presence, as if the spirits of the past still linger in the shadows. One of the most chilling legends is that of the Piper Boy. Many years ago, a young boy was sent into the underground tunnels beneath the castle to explore them. To keep track of his movements, he played his bagpipes as he walked. Suddenly, the music stopped, and the boy was never seen again. To this day, many visitors claim to hear the faint sound of bagpipes playing from beneath the castle, though no one is there. According to legend, whenever Edinburgh Castle is in danger, the ghost of a headless drummer appears to warn of the impending threat. Those who have seen him describe a warrior in armor, marching and playing his drum, but without a head. The first recorded sighting of this ghost was in the 17th century, just before an English invasion. Most people only hear the drumbeats, yet the sound alone is enough to send shivers down their spine. Edinburgh Castle once housed hundreds of prisoners, from war captives and pirates to innocent victims of injustice. Many prisoners were tortured, starved, or executed in horrific ways. One of the most terrifying ghosts is said to be a prisoner who was thrown into a pit and left to die. His restless spirit is believed to wander the castle, seeking revenge. Visitors have reported feeling a sudden push from behind, only to turn around and find no one there. Another famous ghost haunting the castle is the Lady in White. She is often seen walking through the cold stone corridors, wearing a long white gown, with a pale and sorrowful face. Some believe she is the ghost of Mary, Queen of Scots, who was imprisoned in the castle before her execution. Others think she was a noble woman who was betrayed, her soul unable to find peace. Whoever she is, her appearance terrifies those who encounter her, especially when she vanishes suddenly before their eyes. The legends of ghosts at Edinburgh Castle are not just stories. Many visitors and researchers have documented strange occurrences. The feeling of being watched, many people claim they sense invisible eyes observing them, especially in dark and isolated areas of the castle. Sudden cold touches, some visitors feel a cold hand grip their shoulder. But when they turn around, no one is there. Shadowy figures moving in the darkness. Castle guards have reported seeing black silhouettes gliding through hallways, disappearing the moment they are approached. So, is Edinburgh Castle truly haunted? Or is it simply a trick of the mind? Some scientists believe that the eerie atmosphere, cold temperature, and ancient architecture create psychological effects that make people feel scared. But those who have personally witnessed paranormal events, from castle staff to researchers, insist that something supernatural exists within these walls. Whether you believe it or not, there is no doubt that Edinburgh Castle is one of the most mysterious and haunted places in the world. If you ever find yourself walking through Edinburgh Castle at midnight, would you dare step into the underground tunnels, where the piper boy still plays his eerie tune? Walk through the dark corridors, where the headless drummer beats his war drum? Stand alone in the execution courtyard, where thousands took their last breath? And if you hear a whisper behind you, just remember, you may not be alone. 4. Stanley Hotel, the haunted inspiration for The Shining. Nestled deep within the majestic Rocky Mountains of Colorado, USA, Stanley Hotel is not just an architectural masterpiece but also one of the most haunted hotels in the world. This eerie yet elegant establishment was the inspiration behind Stephen King's legendary horror novel The Shining, which later became one of the most iconic horror films of all time. Directed by Stanley Kubrick, by day, the hotel appears grand and charming. But when night falls, the atmosphere turns cold and unsettling. Guests have reported hearing strange whispers in empty rooms, footsteps echoing in the hallways despite no one being there, and ghostly figures appearing in mirrors only to vanish moments later. Is Stanley Hotel simply a luxurious retreat? Or does it serve as a gateway to another realm, where spirits still roam? Let's uncover the chilling mysteries behind this legendary haunted hotel. Stanley Hotel was built in 1909 by Freeland Oscar Stanley, a wealthy entrepreneur known for his innovations in the automobile industry. Initially, the hotel was meant to be a luxurious retreat for the elite. However, from the very beginning, staff and guests reported unexplained occurrences. Some believe the hotel was built on land with unusual energy, making it a portal between the living and the dead. Over time, countless reports of ghost sightings, eerie noises, and paranormal activity solidified Stanley Hotel's reputation as one of the most haunted places in America. It is believed that Freeland Oscar Stanley and his wife, Flora, never truly left the hotel even after their deaths. Freeland's ghost is said to appear in the main hall and reception area, watching over the hotel as if still managing it. Flora, who had a passion for music, is often associated with the hotel's grand piano. Guests have claimed that they hear music playing, even when no one is near the piano, and the keys sometimes move on their own. Room 217 is considered the most haunted in the entire hotel. This is where Stephen King spent a terrifying night, inspiring him to write The Shining. Years ago, a hotel maid suffered severe injuries in a gas explosion in this room but miraculously survived. Since then, guests have reported objects moving on their own, lights flickering, and a presence standing at the foot of their bed. Some guests claim they felt something push them out of bed. as if a ghostly force didn't want them there. Would you dare stay in room 217? Many visitors have heard the sounds of children laughing and running through the hallways, especially at night. Some guests have reported seeing the faint outlines of a boy or girl standing outside their rooms, only for the figure to vanish into thin air moments later. These sounds and sightings are most commonly reported on the 4th floor, which was once the hotel's nursery area in the early 1900s. The hallways of Stanley Hotel are infamous for their unexplainable sounds and ghostly apparitions. Guests frequently report hearing slow, deliberate footsteps behind them, even when the hallway is completely empty. Some claim they hear whispers right next to their ears, but when they turn around, no one is there. There have even been reports of shadows appearing in mirrors, only for them to disappear when guests look back. Would you dare walk through these corridors alone at night? Stanley Hotel is not just a place of legends. Numerous paranormal investigators have visited the hotel and documented strange occurrences. Security cameras have captured shadowy figures moving through hallways. Yet upon checking, no physical presence was found. Photographs taken by guests have revealed blurry apparitions, especially around room 217. Ghost hunting equipment has detected unusual energy spikes in several areas of the hotel. These findings only reinforce the belief that Stanley Hotel is genuinely haunted. So, are the eerie events at Stanley Hotel just myths? Or is there truly another world lurking within its walls? Some scientists believe the unsettling experiences in the hotel are a result of psychological effects, where the eerie environment influences the human mind. However, those who have personally encountered the unexplained phenomena insist that ghosts do exist within the hotel, making Stanley forever shrouded in paranormal mystery. Whether you believe it or not, Stanley Hotel remains one of the most chilling and legendary haunted locations in the world. If you ever have the chance to visit Stanley Hotel, would you dare sleep in room 217? Would you have the courage to walk down the hallways alone at midnight, knowing that invisible footsteps may follow behind you? And if you hear a whisper in your ear, be certain that it isn't just another guest, but something from the other side. 5. Pripyat, the cursed ghost city left behind after the Chernobyl disaster. Hidden deep within the abandoned forests of Ukraine, Pripyat was once a thriving city. But today, it stands as a desolate wasteland, frozen in time. On April 26, 1986, the Chernobyl nuclear disaster turned this place into one of the most dangerous and uninhabitable locations on Earth. But the most chilling thing about Pripyat is not just its decaying buildings and eerie silence, it's the whispers of the past. The echoes of invisible footsteps in empty hallways, and the ghostly figures that are said to roam its lifeless streets. Is Pripyat merely a historical ruin? Or has it become a cursed land, where the souls of those who once lived here remain trapped forever? Founded in 1970, Pripyat was home to nearly 50,000 residents, most of whom worked at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. Everything changed forever on April 26, 1986, when Reactor 4 of the Chernobyl plant exploded. The sky lit up with nuclear fire, while the residents remained unaware of the catastrophe unfolding. Radiation spread rapidly, but it took over 24 hours for the government to order a full evacuation. People left everything behind, their homes, belongings, cars, schools, believing they would return. But they never did. Pripyat became a ghost city. Trapped in 1986. Frozen in time. More than 3 decades later, Pripyat remains silent and abandoned. Yet, those who dare to step inside this decayed city tell chilling tales, turning it into one of the most haunted locations in the world. Many urban explorers who have entered Pripyat's abandoned buildings claim to have heard strange whispers. Voices seem to echo from empty apartments, as if someone still lives inside. Slow, deliberate footsteps can be heard in deserted hallways. But upon investigation, no one is there. Some visitors have reported hearing children laughing. But when they search for the source, they find only rusting bicycles and decayed dolls scattered on dusty floors. Pripyat's amusement park, with its rusting Ferris wheel and decayed bumper cars, is one of the most haunted places in the city. Many visitors claim to have seen shadowy figures of children running between the old rides. But when they move closer, the figures vanish into thin air. Some explorers report a chilling feeling of being watched. But when they turn around, there is nothing but the cold wind blowing through the empty park. Numerous photographers and filmmakers have captured eerie images in Pripyat. Dark silhouettes appear in the windows of abandoned buildings, even though the city is completely deserted. Some cameras have recorded a blurry figure of a man in an old Soviet-era coat, standing alone on an empty street, only for him to disappear moments later. Scientists have set up paranormal energy detectors in Pripyat and found unusual readings, particularly around the abandoned hospital and kindergarten. The residents of Pripyat were forced to leave, but some spirits never did. In the Pripyat hospital, where the first firefighters exposed to radiation were treated, many explorers report a bone-chilling presence, as if unseen eyes are watching them from the shadows. Some paranormal investigators claim they have seen figures moving in the hallways. But upon checking, no one was there. Could it be that the spirits of Pripyat's past still linger, trapped in a city they can never leave? Today, Pripyat attracts thrill-seekers, urban explorers, and paranormal investigators. Some believe that all the ghostly encounters are just illusions, caused by echoes in abandoned buildings and human psychology. But for those who have been inside, they are certain that Pripyat is more than just a ghost town. It is a city haunted by the souls of the past. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, Pripyat stands frozen in time, waiting for those who dare to enter. If you walk through the abandoned streets, would you dare to step inside the crumbling hospital, where the last breaths of the dying still linger in the air? And if you hear footsteps behind you, make sure that you are truly alone. The haunted, eerie, and mysterious places around the world are not just abandoned landmarks, but sites filled with terrifying stories, unsolved mysteries, and supernatural occurrences that send shivers down the spine. Whether they stem from chilling legends, first-hand accounts, or recorded evidence, these locations continue to intrigue the curious and challenge the bravery of those who dare to explore them. You may believe in them or dismiss them as myths, but these places remain, forever shrouded in the veil of mystery and time. If given the chance, would you dare to step into these haunted locations? Or would you rather let them remain ghostly whispers in the dark? Share your thoughts, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and follow for more spine-chilling mysteries to uncover.